Hey, everybody. Welcome to the BingeWorthy podcast, part of the Geekish Network. My name is Johnny Randolph, or you can call me Randy. I am a speaker, a trainer, and a podcaster. And I've got three extraordinary co-hosts. My first co-host, she is an actress, a writer, director, the dynamic diva. Say hello to the people, Miss Cortney Scott Wright.
Hello, hello.
And my next co-host, he is an entrepreneur. He's a game designer, part owner of the Geekish Network. Say what's up to the people, Chuck.
What it do?
And my last co-host, man, he is an actor. He is a writer. I call him the Game Spitter because every day you can catch him on Geek Beast and right here at the BingeWorthy podcast, spitting that fire. Say what's up to the people, Syntell.
So happy to be here, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, we got a good one on deck. Let's go.
And man, we are the BingeWorthy podcast. What's going on, family? Well, we was off last week. I missed you guys.
Yeah,
Man, I did.
Somebody was having hot girl summer and was on the
Somebody
plane.
was jet setting over to the Cali sunshine.
Man,
We got to meet an actual person.
right. We've been podcasting for about a year now. Courtney and I have never met in person. So
Yep.
I was out in California dreaming. I was California dreaming last week, and we got a chance to meet in person, man. She gave me
Nice.
portobellos and everything. California
wow.
staple, man.
Portos.
Portos.
Okay. All right, man.
Y'all know this is Randy. Y'all know how he does.
Y'all know how I
Y'all
do.
know how Randy
Y'all
is.
with it.
Y'all know how Randy is. That's okay.
know how I do, man.
Portos.
But hey, all I can say is I ain't gonna mispronounce this. That shit was delicious, man. Them joints was delicious. I ain't gonna mess that one up.
See, I told you.
Yeah, get it.
I said, Chuck, I'm gonna get Randy some Portos because everybody should have Portos when they come. And he was like, yeah, do that. Give him some Portos.
Yep, I supported that.
Absolutely. Well, guys, if you are not familiar with the show, what we do is we will binge watch a series throughout the week, and then we rate it using our unique binge-worthy scale. I made a little adjustment to the binge-worthy scale. So at number 4 is a full binge out. That means this was exceptional. It completely filled us up, and we couldn't get enough of it. At a number 3 is a full meal. While not quite a binge out, it definitely left you satisfied and you looked forward to doing more. Now, at a number 2, it is a snack. And a snack, I mean,
It's a mini meal at a number 2, isn't it?
huh?
Isn't the
He's
mini meal at
changing.
2?
Changing it. We're gonna change it. We
Okay.
changed it just a
Changing it.
little bit.
Okay.
At a snack, it's it's not bad. It's not good. It's just edible. Courtney described it as a TV dinner. 1 is going to be what's a 1? I'm sorry. It was a mini meal. I'm sorry.
See?
A mini meal.
See, I was
you're
right.
You're right. A mini meal is just, okay. It's the TV meal. A number one is going to be a snack. And you're not feel off of this at all. It's one of them
Okay.
shows where you're sitting in front of the TV, you're falling asleep. You don't have any connection with it. And then we're going to give a 0 to a cringeworthy. And that's just some old bullshit. Like, Chuck, why the hell did you recommend that we watch
Why
this
y'all
show?
always put me as the recommendation guy?
See, I thought that the 0. I thought you were adding in throw up.
Cringeworthy is kind of the throw up same thing.
Okay,
We can
no,
talk
we
about it.
said, no. I totally respect that. I was just excited for what's the new one he's coming up with.
It's nothing new. Just change it to a 0 because we had a cringeworthy as a 1, and a cringeworthy shouldn't get any
Okay.
credit.
Right?
Damn.
That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
like the
Dang.
He-Man shit, it shouldn't get any credit. Like, fuck that. Why we waste our time watching this? And so what we do is we rate this series at the beginning of the show to give you our perspective. And then later on, we rate it again. And maybe after our discussion, it can influence some people to change. So let's start this thing off. Miss Cortney Scott Wright, how did you rate Mythic Quest?
Mythic Quest as I said in the crossover, surprised me because I didn't have anything else to watch. And I was like, oh, what's this Mythic Quest? Let me look at this real quick. And that pilot had me dying with laughter. Like I didn't even know what to do myself. I binged it. I legitimately binged it in a day and in like 2 days. And it's a full binge out for me. Full binge out. It's wonderful. And it's hard. Honestly, sitcoms, as much I love comedy. Sometimes they don't always make me laugh from beginning to end. And Mythic Quest did.
Nice. Okay, we got a full binge out. I'm gonna go next. There are a lot of streaming services out there. We got Netflix, we got Hulu, Amazon Prime, Peacock, Stars, Paramount Plus. And this series is on Apple TV. And I thought to myself, it's just another streaming service, right? I'm paying for all of these. I don't necessarily need another streaming service. And the people who are making my MacBook and my phone, they're now getting into the content business. Why do they need to do this? So the only reason I even got this streaming service was because I got a new phone and they offered it to me for a year. Now, in television or in any properties, there's always kind of a game changer, right? In the 80s, CBS was dominating everything. It was like Magnum PI, and then regardless of what you think about them now, the Cosby Show came out in the 80s and it changed television. The Sopranos, when it dropped in HBO, they had original series, but it changed television. Netflix, what was it? House of Cards. It went from being a streaming service to play old movies and documentaries to being original content. Mythic Quest, to me, is one of these game changer series. It is everything. And we're going to talk about it more, but it is perfectly cast. It doesn't feel forced. It is a buddy show. It is an office show. It's so well done. I'm giving it a full binge out. And it was so good that when my free subscription expired, I renewed it because I want to make sure that I see the next season of Mythic Quest. So for me, it's a full binge out. Syntell, man, how you gonna rate Mythic Quest?
I'll tell you off the jump. It was a full binge out for me as well. It didn't take too much to really sell it in the beginning because I'm a Charlie Day fan. I love Sonny. It's one of the more unique type of sitcoms that I'd ever seen at that style of humor. And I'm a huge fan of Danny Pudi. I'm making sure I'm saying his name correctly.
Yeah.
Because I love Community, and he is the absolute star of that particular show in my eyes. And when I heard that those two could be potentially coming together, I was like, this is something that I need to actually pay attention to. And like Johnny said, man, this may be Apple's flagship. It's either this or Ted Lasso, and to me, I'm probably having more fun with this one than I am with Ted Lasso. So I think this is going to be Apple's flagship for the service. I know, Chuck. We can talk about it too a little bit later regarding Ted Lasso. It's close, but yeah, Apple has gone around the bend regarding content worthy enough for you to consider a subscription.
Nice. All right, so we got another full a binge out. So Chuck, man, how you gonna rate Mythic Quest?
I love Charlie Day. I think Charlie Day can't do any wrong. His name is Charles, so it's hard to do wrong when your name is Charles. It's very, very hard, you know. You know, the good time Charlie's for a reason. We don't have bad time Charlies. Nobody's ever heard of that. I wish it was kind of more like Always Sunny, where everybody was really self-absorbed. Ian is close. Ian is the closest thing we had to an Always Sunny character. And it makes sense because Rob is a self-absorbed character. And so, but I'm going to give it a full binge out. I was one of first of my friends to watch it. All my friends shunned it because they're like, here's another story about somebody trying to report the life of a video game studio and how they're not going to do it right. They're not going to do it right. And they took a lot of liberties, of course, to make it more TV ready, but it's kind of on par. It's smart. It's smart. The arguments and discussions you have in rooms, the personality clashes and flares and the quirkiness of people is really spot on. And I think they address a lot of the video game issues.
All right. So far we got 4 binge outs. Let's see during our conversations if maybe we change that. Now, the premise of this series is the series follows a fictional video game studio that produces Mythic Quest, a popular MMORPG game.
Yeah.
Run by the game's creator, Ian Graham, Rob McElhenney?
McElhenney.
McElhenney?
Yeah,
Okay,
McElhenney.
McElhenney. Whatever. All right. At the start of the series, the studio is about to release a major expansion pack in the game entitled Raven's Banquet. Grimm, the game's creative director, argues with the lead engineer, Poppy Lee, played by Charlotte Nicholdo, Brad Baskey, the head monetization, and that's played by Danny Pudi, and the head writer, C.L. Longbottom, played by
CW Longbottom.
CW. Okay, Longbottom, played by F. Murray Abraham. All right, and that's the premise of our show. So, Chuck, you touched on it a little bit, man. So, how you worked in the gaming industry? How accurate is this depiction of a gaming studio to the real deal?
It's the direct depiction is not. Game studios are a little bit wilder than this.
Wilder?
Probably a lot wilder than this. Yeah, a lot wilder than this. But it is similar. It depends on each studio has a different personality, and it depends on what studio you work for. I worked at a studio that was full of rock stars. Like everything they touched went platinum. They didn't care about it. They would cuss out the owners of the publishing company, where the owner of the studio would be like, listen here, you MFer, I will F you up if you try to talk to anybody in my studio ever again. I talk to people in my studio. You don't talk to them. That person was like Russell Simmons. So he was the head of the company, head of the whole corporation, and the president of the studio could talk to him that way. But he would come in and he swore every other word. He always come on the phone. What's up, you MFers? Hope you had a good effing day. I got some kegs in the back. Y'all can get drunk right now, but don't piss on your computers. He would be like that guy, right? We celebrating. We don't pass 1 million copies in the first day. In the first 5 hours, the stores open up on the East Coast. And he'll come in just like that. And that's how it moved, and so it depends on each studio. And I had other studios where we were smaller, but it was very agile. MMORPGs are really big studios, and we're watching one right now go through a lot of problems. Blizzard is going through a lot of problems with all the problems they've had, to the point where somebody's committed suicide.
Oh wow!
Based on the work environment.
They kind of touch on that in one of the episodes. Like,
but this woman committed suicide.
They make it light. Yeah, they make it light.
This woman committed suicide because her boss bought in butt plugs and spanking tools.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
to use on her?
Apparently.
Yeah, that's
in a
no
hotel
bueno.
room
That's
on a business trip.
Yeah, that's that old Cuomo type of thing. That's no.
It was wild. It was wild. There was a lot of wild things happen. It's so bad. The state of California is suing Activision. The state is suing the company. So and they're suing because of Blizzard. We just had 3 key stars of Blizzard step down today.
This would be a different series then.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, that wouldn't be as fun.
That's like the Showtime version.
Right.
That's the Showtime version of Mythic Quest.
But this reminds me of Community a little bit, but it does touch on a lot of the issues in the gaming industry. It touches on a lot of the personality types in the gaming industry. Like the fact that Poppy Lee's the lead engineer, then they had a woman lead engineer who wants to be creative director. And Ian, who is the creator of the studio, is the creative director. And
All right. So, Cortney, you're an actress. What'd you think about the casting and the acting of this series?
Oh, the casting is flawless. It's absolutely perfect. I mean, I can't even, you know how sometimes you see a show and you're like, gosh, I would have loved to have seen this actor in that role, or somebody else would have done a better job with this. I think every single character is perfectly cast, and everybody brings something different to the table. I don't even have words. Like the writing, the acting is just phenomenal. Because I don't find myself, a lot of times I find myself trying to figure out what is happening in the series, like where is it going, like what to expect, and I let my brain just enjoy the show that is in front of me. I just laugh, and more laughter.
Yeah, it was funny. So, Syntell, man, this show, I thought it was really driven by like relationships. We had Poppy and Ian, we had the gamer girls, like a lot of great relationships and conflicts going on. What were some of the relationships and dynamics that stood out to you in the series?
Well, it's gonna be more of a non-typical answer for that one, and that is the episode called "A Dark Quiet Death," and it has nothing to do with any of the central characters. It's like a one-off in a sense, and it deals with the relationship of two people trying to build a game from the bargain bin all the way up to making a AAA title,
getting married,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, so
Obelete
you're
Studios.
talking about you're talking about like how do you grow with somebody as friends, as a couple, as a business partner? What kind of like struggles does that deal with? And for them to just throw it as a one-off was just interesting. It's kind of like the writers just took a moment to kind of flex and be like, let me show you how interesting we can make anybody in our world. I'm still curious as to how it's going to connect full circle. There's a cool little nugget that they do with the writing on the wall, but I'm wondering if it comes back to it, if it has any other connections with the characters. That one-off was so good. I want to see what other strings attached to it. So it's just a testament, because like Cortney said, the other characters are very well done. They are a complete world to themselves. You could literally do a show off of each individual character. I mean, that's how good some of the characters are. But for them to take that time to do that one-off, just to flex a little bit, to just show you of how they can write well for characters, I thought.
I wasn't even thinking about that. Right. Like, let's talk about that. Like, it completely went off the rail.
Yeah.
But it was so good and tied into the series. Unlike, was it the Nevers, who just completely jumped the shark and just fucked it all up? This one changed the characters and everything, but it still fit in the narrative of the show. So, Chuck, man, what'd you think about this episode? I loved it, and I'm glad Syntell brought that up.
The Dark Quiet Death.
Yeah,
I think it shows how studios fall and other studios rise out of the ashes. Like that is very, very common, where studios get a successful hit and they try to stay with it, then forces to be come in and want to tinker with your stuff. People want marketing sales points, and you don't give more of the same thing. They want something different. The fans want something different, but you want to give the fans what they came in for. So the game usually changes, and creative vision studios break apart that way. And then another studio rises from the ashes from that. Like, the studios break up all the time. I tell everybody, the gaming industry is so fluid. Like, having a job 2 to 5 years in the gaming industry is a long time. Having a job 5 years in the gaming industry is a long time. Because usually you ship a project, and based on if that project does very well or does poorly, they usually let everybody go. Then they rebuild it all back up again. You know, the teams try to keep everybody there, but they're doing an MMO. They're doing an MMO RPG, which is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. So that game is constantly living. That is Blizzard. Blizzard is that. Where you have people at Blizzard who have been at Blizzard 10, 15 years. So all the stuff that is coming forward, people have witnessed everything. And you don't give that up, because it's so rare to have that in the gaming industry. Usually people start in the gaming industry, you're there to 2 or 3 years. Your studio breaks up. You bond it with like 8 people in the studio. Then you all go off and try to make your own project. And so I thought this was accurate. I thought this was good. I thought them breaking up as a couple and leading to divorce is something that happens because making a video game is like having a child. People don't care to forget when you start to make a video game, you start with a blank screen. There's nothing on the screen. It's not like film where you pull a camera out and you can have a whole room full of stuff. You start with nothing. You don't even have physics. You usually have to build your own physics. You know, we have tools now that make it easier. Fortunately, we don't have to build our own game engines. But yeah, it's a thing. Like people are like, oh, I can make a video game. Like, oh, you have no idea. You think those lights are real? No, those are ones and zeros that do special things. We have to put them in a parameter. Like lighting is not real in video games. We have to make that.
So Cortney, what did you think about that relationship? Because it was heartbreaking to me, like to see them meet at the store, and then they go through this relationship, and then they. What did you think? What did you think about this relationship?
So for me, unlike everybody else, that was my least favorite episode because I understood why they put it in there. And I know that, you know, such a boon to see like Christina Milioti, who was the mom in How I Met Your Mother in the last 2 episodes. And the actor from The New Girl, I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name. So like, and they were great. The acting was fantastic. It just, to me, didn't have the same fun energy. It had the reality of like potentially showing me where Ian and Poppy are going, and that did not make me happy. It made me feel like I was the kid watching the story of how my parents are going to get divorced, and I didn't want to see that. So I respected it, and I appreciated the way the story that it told and ended, but it wasn't my jam.
Okay. I love the change. I just thought it was just something that just switched it up, and I was like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. And how are they going to tie all this into the series? I'm like Syntell, I want to see if we're going to get anything else from that. So okay, interesting. All right.
It would be nice to know where Doc is right now. We don't know exactly where he is. We know he had a game that blew up. Beans divorced him. She got part of that settlement, but she probably went back to make her own independent games. He's probably made $1 gajillion. He may be at a publisher. He may be at the publisher that actually publishes.
She got remarried and has kids.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah. He may be the guy that publishes Mythic Quest.
And that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that he became Montreal, but Montreal was there in that episode as well. It was the beginning of Montreal. So it was like, I was like, you know, I wonder if this is going to become something
it's Montreal
that
before you come Montreal. Go ahead. Like, so he was in Montreal, but now he's risen up in power. He's Montreal now.
Yes, absolutely. He totally could be. I'm curious to see if they do bring him back, or if there is another episode in the future of the series that either connects it or shows us what is next, and then give us another standalone one-off of these characters, you know. So, but they got to make it funny, because it was not funny.
You know what I want?
That episode was not funny.
You know what I want?
No, it's not funny. It's not funny.
It's not. You know what I want?
But it's well written. It's well written.
I would want him to have the Mythic Quest killer. And he comes, yeah, like his game is the game to kill Mythic Quest.
I don't want him to kill Mythic Quest yet, man.
I'm making a new game, and I'm gonna not only am I gonna crush your game, I'm gonna take my building back. This is my building.
Speaking of killing Mythic Quest, we got Pootie, man. We got a little kid out here. Yeah, so
my dude. That is my dude, man.
When he cussed out his mom, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm live.
He said, Mom, that's fucking racist. Unless she really is Chinese.
Yo, he was like, yo, she's a good employee. I was done.
Yeah. I was done. She's a good employee, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I like Pootie Shoes. Because those kids, that's what they are. That's a whole different area of game development is the content creators, because game developers are like, y'all are not shit. Y'all
Well,
sit here and
Pootie Shoe.
criticize. What's
Wait,
up?
Pootie Shoe is the little kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
know
he's
it.
a little shoot.
He's a content
Oh, okay.
creator. He's a content creator. So he makes content
Oh, got
based
it,
on
got it,
video
got it.
games. And so when you content creators bash your video game, they don't know what it takes to get a video game out the door. They have no idea what it takes to get a video game out the door and why we make the decisions we do. So it'd been nice if this video game had this. And all video game creators are like, shut the fuck up. That's not the
But I mean,
game we're
that's-
making. That's
but
not the
that's
game we're
anything.
making.
That's the critics versus the actual content maker.
That's
So,
why the content creators like, who listens to this 14-year-old kid? So people are not going to buy my game because this 14-year-old kid doesn't
Yeah.
like it.
But it's also that added layer of who Pootie Shoe is
Yeah.
to Ian Grimm.
Yeah.
And so there's a whole nother layer of why Pootie Shoe admittedly or possibly does the things that he does and says the things that he says, like choosing to stop reviewing Mythic Quest, which everybody was like, what do we do? How are we gonna survive without Pootie Shoe? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
The-
it
the-
begs
the-
the
the-
question.
the-
Go ahead, Syntell.
I say the way that they do the characters. Have you ever seen like that meme that's going around? It's a bunch of blind people, and there's like an elephant on the ground, and each blind person grabs a different part of the elephant, and they're describing the animal that's totally different. Like one grabs the trunk, and it's like, I don't know what this is. Maybe it's a snake. One grabs the tusk, its horn. And so their perspective of this elephant, each person is different, right? Because they're all blind, and that's how I feel like the characters are in this particular series. There's like, for me, I just see the video game. If it wasn't for Chuck's insight, I wouldn't know like all of the details that go into it. And like most people, when they see the game, they just see something that they play. But every single person sees this entity, this body of the game, as something completely different. Pootie Shoe's version of what a game and what the game industry is completely different than, say, Joe, who's trying to get to be the next power broker in training, who's batshit crazy, who's totally different from the programmer and Poppy and Ian and stuff. So everybody's looking at this big thing, which is Mythic Quest. And the story that they tell just is completely and totally different. And that's what, to me, is what makes a lot of these characters so interesting. Is so many different perspectives from the tester,
And
programmers.
we get that in that one
lady in the
episode with.
basement.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was it. Just
Yeah, and I was just saying we get that analysis in that episode with was it CW Longbottom and the tester, right?
Uh-huh.
They're the tester. She's like, I play the game all the time and I love the game. And then he's like, I've never played the game. And she's like, I've never
Yeah.
listened to the story. And they're like, and so like together, like they see the value add that each one contributes to like producing this thing. And I thought
Yeah.
that was really
Yeah.
interesting too.
Like for us, game developers, story's not important. It's
Mm.
how the game plays and feels. You can put a fictional rapper on anything. Fictional rapper is the easy part. The hard part is figuring out what the game is.
Well, I mean, that depends on if you're the writer or not. The writer might
Right.
feel completely different than
But
that.
that's why writers usually come in when you're deep in production.
Yeah.
When you're
And that's
really
what I'm
deep
saying.
in
And
production.
I love that CW is so extra, like so extra with it.
So even the way he just describes the way the character looks and that it gives him feeling, and they haven't even been created yet. He's just spitballing and just bullshitting, and it is
Uh-huh.
fantastic. He is so profound, and also to see someone his age.
Right.
His
Yeah.
age, like exactly, like later on, like his age in this arena with these people, and he fits in perfectly.
Mhm.
It's like he carries his own. He brings in a layer that you didn't know you needed
Right,
into the
right.
show.
Yeah.
Like I just love it. I just
Yeah.
love
He
him
was a
so
wild
much.
dude, I bet, when he was young, boy. I would love like some flashbacks or I don't know. If we got some stuff with him back when he was coming up, because I bet you he did. Then we get like a Showtime version, because I bet you he did some wild
He's
shit.
probably
back in the
like
day.
Hunter,
That's what I'm
Hunter S.
saying.
Thompson.
He can exactly. I think that's probably what they may
The
have been
name
trying
of
to
Hunter
do.
S. Thompson, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Hunter?
Like,
I don't
loosely-
for the
loosely
artist.
Hunter S.
A Fear and
who's
Loathing
Hunter
in
S.
Las Vegas.
Okay.
You know,
There's
Hunter
a-
S. Thompson has a champion day
Very
schedule.
eccentric.
He has a champion day schedule. Wakes up, the first thing he does is like cocaine.
Yeah.
3 in the
Fear and Loathing in
afternoon.
Las Vegas. Yeah.
So he probably does have that. But yeah,
I mean,
it's
like CW was falling out of the broom closet drunk, right? And was blaming it on traffic. So.
But wait, exactly. And she's like, I'm pretty sure he lives here. Like, and then like the HR was like, is this true, CW? Do you live here? Carol, I can't even talk about this.
I love the HR lady. She is so good.
So good.
I can't even talk about
So
recurring
good.
cast.
We needed to see more of her.
Telling me
Sue
this.
and Carol. Like, why are you? I am not a therapist. I don't think you understand what HR does.
Yeah.
And then like, are you in a session? No, I'm not in a session.
Yeah. I like Joe. Joe's my girl.
Oh, I love Joe.
Joe's my girl.
Is the ultimate Karen.
I hated her at first though.
I
hated her.
loved
The
her.
first two episodes, I did not like her, and she grew on me, man. She grew
I
on me.
loved her.
And I root for her like nobody's.
When they went LARPing, she was so angry she got killed.
I loved it when she thought, like when Ian was getting closer to Poppy, and she thought that Poppy had replaced her, and she was just like done. She had no purpose after that, because like she's drawn to like these alphas, and anytime she feels that like there's an interruption between her relationship with that, it bothers her. I thought that was great. I was
That's
like, she's
hilarious.
the ultimate Karen. She's the ultimate Karen. I can see her yelling about parking spaces and, you know, like, why do you have this sign? She even mentions, she says, don't let Rachel convince you with this liberal agenda. Everybody like Rachel Maddow.
The show is really smart. The show is really, really smart. Like, Ian is smart. Like, he's a game director. He feels like a game director. And I tell everybody, when we do cover it next week, season 2, that last scene, it hit me in my heart. Like,
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk it out. We're gonna talk about
Yeah.
it.
Wait, what are you talking about? Wait, what are you talking about?
Season 2.
Season 2.
No,
I mean-
No.
I thought the Quarantine Everlight was the last.
It was.
the
That
end of
was for
season
this
1.
season 1, yes.
Yeah.
And even season 1, Ian feels like a game director. Like, right, he feels like I'm the hotshot game director. I made this MMO RPG that makes $1 gajillion. Danny Pudi, I think, is the real hero of the company, because he's like, yo, we about making that money. We're gonna get that money.
Let me ask y'all:
boxes, man.
is Ian a bad person?
No. He's absolutely brilliant. Like there's a good heart there. He has this like, he has this like, you know, like this exterior. It's kind of like him in the pilot, like him showing himself like standing there like shirtless Superman. Like that's how he wants to see himself. But even just that whole conversation, like after, you know, him and Pootie Shoe, you know what I mean? Like after that scene with Pootie Shoe and Poppy finding out that Ian has a son, like there's a soft side to him that he doesn't really show people, and then but then it comes right back. It like drops, the curtain drops for like a minute, and he drops knowledge, and then it's right back up.
See, I think he's kind of a shitty person. I think he
so
is.
too.
Because this relationship, like
after
it was
the quarantine episode. After
the quarantine was,
episode,
but like it's like you just don't get credit for doing one thing out of 10 shitty things. Like to me, it's like throughout the series, he did a bunch of shitty things. Then he'd do something that was nice. You'd be like, oh, he's deeper under the surface. Like, is he? Because as much as I love the episode with his son, it was hard watching that because he's a terrible father.
He's a terrible father. He's a terrible father.
And he
had a terrible father too. I'm not justifying it, but
he's not really like a good boss. He's selfish. I mean, he wants all the credit. He does one good thing, and then it's like, oh, he's deeper than what he is. Like, nah, he's a shitty person.
I think he's a shitty person. I think he fits right in with the cast of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Very self-absorbed.
No, but everybody in Sunny is shitty.
They are, but that's the whole point of the show, right? Everybody's self-absorbed in Always Sunny. They come in as shitty people, like Always Sunny. They're shitty people. I think he's a shitty person too. Like he takes credit for things. He thinks his way's always right. And
the way he treats Poppy is like Poppy's killing it for him, and he just keeps taking and taking from her.
But if you think about like the go ahead.
No. Please finish your back.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, if you think about even just when it comes down to like from the very beginning, like from the pilot, this is what I got who Ian was, because he wants to be called Ian, with the shovel. He was like, there's something with the shovel, like there's something there. His whole speech to her at the end when he was just tinkering away, trying to code it, he explained to her that like, I wish I could do what you do, but you're the paintbrush. You're the one that does all the things. But I know what it needs. I can see this.
You know who else did that?
He dropped the curtain and Poppy understood what he was saying.
You know who else does that? Puff Daddy to everybody on Bad Boy.
It sounds like Game to me. It did. It sounded like Game to me.
It wasn't wrong. But was he wrong? Where was the lie? Where was the lie?
I mean,
because the shovel did become the most popular thing, and it made them a lot of money. Where was the lie?
I feel like this. Like I feel like he had maybe an idea. He didn't know what he was doing, and he needed somebody else to make that idea, to bring it to fruition, and then he took credit for it.
Well, no, it was his idea to make it a weapon and crack on the heads. He just didn't know how to give it the oomph. So it was like a team effort, the two of them.
Well, you have people that are creatives, and you have people that put the creative thought process and bring it to life. And we've all been fortunate enough to hang around very overly talented, overly creative people. They're different. Like the ones that are like at that level, at a really high level, they think different, they move different. That's why they're a draw, because they're outside of that box. Ian is outside of that box. He knows what people want. He has these great, amazing ideas. He just doesn't know how to implement them. That's why he needs Poppy. There is no Mythic Quest, whether if you like him or if you don't like him. If Ian leaves, Mythic Quest is a wrap. It's not going to last, because he's the heart and soul. Yes. It's kind of like with Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was the heart and soul of Apple. He left. Apple's different. It's not the same. It's not. When Ford left, Henry Ford, the old man left. Ford took a dive. It wasn't the same company. Like these people that are on that level of being creators, they need to be handled, managed, and talked to differently. And that's why Ian is the way Ian is. I don't think his intentions are to try to be evil. He's just different from everybody else. Kanye West is a weird dude, but he's brilliant. He's a genius. But if you want him to be normal, then you're not going to get that genius. If you want Ian to be normal and act like everybody else, you're not going to get the genius that is Mythic Quest.
All right. So y'all saying he's not. I'm still saying
I had
he's like, nah, he's an asshole.
I had Ian as a boss.
One of the episodes that stood out to me was the gamer episode where it's revealed, what's her name, the black girl, that Dana. She actually works for Mythic Quest, and they go in on her.
Yeah.
Yes, as they're supposed to.
Are they?
As they're supposed to. It's the internet, number one. Number two, it's the gaming internet. And the gaming, nothing's more malicious and as violent and as volatile as the gaming internet. Gamersgate is proof of that. They doxed women for Gamersgate because another woman asked her friend to review her game for her, and they doxed them. Yeah. They should have doxed them? No, they shouldn't have doxed them. They shouldn't have done that.
By doxed them, what do you mean?
They release all your information from your social security number to where you live and everything. Then they tell people to go rape you and crazy shit like that.
I did. I remember hearing about
I've heard of those. Go ahead, Cortney.
Yeah.
Well, what I was just gonna say, it's almost like having your seal of authenticity removed because you had a fake Yelp review. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like your restaurant is no longer viable because you had all the employees or all your friends, like this woman, rate your thing. So it's like you manipulated me. You got all these comments and saying these glowing recommendations, saying it's great, and you're telling me all about the new things that's happening in your restaurant, but everybody who's talking about it or works there. There's a reason companies put that in their contract. Nobody from the company is able to take part in a competition or a TV series we're promoting. There is a reason that they say that. And this is that reason.
Yeah. And honestly, they could have done just as good with her and to say, yeah, she could have came out and said, I represent the company. I'm going to play the game, play all the new stuff, help you guys out. She probably wouldn't have
why
had as much
they
viewers.
didn't do that. Yeah, I thought, why didn't she just be up front with them?
Brad didn't want her to.
Brad
Yeah, I
didn't
was
want
like,
to.
Brad doesn't care about that.
Brad
Brad
wants-
doesn't. He doesn't
Brad used to-
understand
I got the hot black
the
girl
rules of the
that plays
game.
video games.
Yeah.
He
The
doesn't
hot-
understand the rules, and he doesn't care.
I mean,
Well, I think Brad understands the rules. He just doesn't care.
he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
He does. He
Yeah.
gets it.
He
He's
gets
like,
it.
well,
He knows what can
I
happen.
mean,
to him.
in the very first episode, that you get introduced to Brad very quickly because Poppy was like, "Damn, you really are evil," and he was like, "I thought you knew." Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. He was like, I
Yeah.
don't understand.
This-
Like,
this
I'm
is who I am.
confused. Yeah.
I'm the reason this game makes money. I'm the
And-
reason all of y'all are sitting in your chairs right now. Then
Yeah,
it's
it's
Later,
his
actually
job to
he
Brad.
market.
elaborates. Yeah, he elaborates on that. He's like, I do shit for power, right? Just
Yep.
to control people, right? Like
Yep, I
I
do it
just
for
want
the
to
power.
control people for the power. And so he even helps get the girl her job back just so he can hold it over her friend. Like,
Yes.
I fucking did this.
own you.
Now own it.
Yes. Yes. Brad is my
Yeah.
favorite character. Brad, hands down, is my favorite character.
There's that episode where he kind of like steps out and he was like, "Oh, you don't need me." Bet. Check this
Oh,
out.
yeah.
I loved that. Like the whole company just damn near went to a screeching halt because you got to respect all the pieces. You have
Yeah.
to. This is
Especially the
we're a
guy that
team.
handles your
Everything's gonna work.
monetization.
Yeah.
I guess we saw that. Like every single one, anytime one of them are removed from the equation, it has a huge impact.
Yes.
So, like
Yes.
Syntell, you were saying earlier, if you remove Ian, creatively they're going to suffer. If you remove Poppy, like they're execution wise, they're going to suffer. If you remove the money guy, they're going to suffer. The gamers, like everything. So it really is unique how they've made this story an ensemble cast and how each person plays a role.
Not everyone though, because you can remove David, who is the executive producer, and they feel like you wouldn't suffer.
Speak on it, in, sir. Go
No.
ahead. Go ahead.
And I love David. And the executive
Love
producer is usually
David.
Brad. The executive producer is usually Brad.
Well, here's the thing about David. He does bring a level, even in all his like idiosyncrasies and neuroses and insecurities about Joe and how people see him or don't see him because of his mommy issues. He does bring a level of necessary structure to the team.
Yeah.
That him being there, it stabilizes the people, not the game, not the company, the people. I think that's what is David's
You think so?
Well, I think he gained their respect. At first, it was kind of like he's the corporate guy sent to babysat.
Yes.
I think by the end of the series, he's gained their respect as a person who can manage these crazy and unique type of personalities. Not the best, but he does. Because the episode with the cookie episode, I thought they respected him.
I just like to miss everybody's punching bag. It just makes me laugh.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
and that
it.
actor,
And
that actor does a really good
he's
job.
Oh,
so
God.
good.
He does. He's
and
really
he
good.
also he's also one of the writers.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
He's also one of the writers. And so like that just kind of upped his game for me as well. But the supporting cast, like when we were introduced to Sue, who's down in the basement,
Yeah.
like I can't. I mean, she is like Fargo / like somebody from like Canada or the Midwest. Like she's so nice, but she's so hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Everybody believes everything that they're saying. A lot of times in sitcoms,
Yeah.
everything is so heightened that it just like it looks a mess because you just know that these people are overacting in order to get the laugh. These people are literally living.
Oh, yeah.
They're living, and that's just who they are.
You know what
And that's
makes
what's funny.
Sue great? She's head of community. She's
Yes.
head of community. And
Yes,
if y'all know
yeah.
anything about gaming communities, they are the most toxic environments you could ever go to on the internet. They
Well, you
are.
could tell that
Yeah.
from there. Yeah.
Oh,
they
they
literally
are.
put her in the basement, like
Yeah, because you don't want to
literally put her
deal
like
with
the dungeon. It's
yeah,
like a kingdom, and they put her in the dungeon.
because you don't want to deal with the
You don't
gamers
want
who
to deal
saying
with
what you
that.
want. You
Right.
don't want
Yeah,
to deal
you
with
don't
that.
want to deal with that.
Yeah.
You know,
And imagine doing that every single
like,
day.
She's like, is she Catholic? Well, she's definitely religious.
Yes.
And you could just see her kind of like, you could see the wheels moving in the back of her head, and she's just holding on to her faith to help her get through the day. And she's just going to be optimistic no matter what. And she's like, I sure wish I knew what was going on upstairs. Nobody really comes up down here. And
Yeah.
you feel bad for her, but
Yeah.
I love her.
And to
I'm
Courtney's
waiting for her to
point,
flip out. She's gonna
Right,
have an
when-
episode where she absolutely goes postal, and I'm
Right.
waiting for that. I'm looking forward to that.
and to Courtney's point, when she got a visitor, she was so genuinely happy. You could see it all. Like
The
you said, the
girls,
actress
when
was
the girls
wonderful.
came through.
You could just see it all in her face. Like, oh my God, you actually came to visit me.
Yeah. She's like
Yeah.
she's definitely the happiest community manager I've ever met, boy. I have some friends near dear to my heart that are community managers in video games. They're off the chain. They're off the chain. They can go tit for tat with the gamers online. They can go tit for tat with them. Because gamers online are assholes. They're assholes, so assholes. Somebody else I liked was Michelle too. I really like Michelle, the other programmer.
Oh, the lady
Rachel.
programmer.
It's Michelle.
who's Michelle?
Aparna, the
Michelle,
Indian
she
girl.
was the one who worked for Poppy.
Yeah, she's the Indian girl that was in the program.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked Michelle too. Michelle,
Her
I thought
dry
was
humor.
awesome because
Yeah.
Poppy was like, "You need to do this." And she's like, "What?" Like the way she was checking Poppy, like, "You're getting ahead of yourself. You're a programmer just like the rest of us." And like, oh, you're the head programmer, but it seems like you don't know what you're doing. And to see another woman programmer handle another woman programmer like that's really interesting.
And I was speaking of that, like I love the episode when the young girls come to visit the
Uh-huh.
office. I thought that would really capture kind of how you said the kind of the misogyny that's going on in Michelle's role. She says, look to your left, look to your right. This is your competition. She says,
That was so good. That was
Yep.
so
she
good.
says
That whole
Poppy is a
thing.
woman boss and she hates me because she's my competition. I thought that was just a great episode.
Yeah.
because it was truthful.
Right. It was truthful and they did it in a way. Yeah. The writing on that was superb.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when we had it tied up with the black girl comes in, and I just thought that was everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I
stuff
think
going
is there any? I mean, we definitely got some high praise. Is there any weak links? I know we don't really address that a whole lot. Is there any weak links in the show, or something that you would like to see more of?
I mean, I
the
would like
first
more
season was
Carol.
only 9.
on. Yeah, I was about to say the HR. Yeah, yeah.
I would
I'd to
I would
see
like more
her.
Carol and more Sue. I could deal with a little bit less of the testers. I do like Rachel. I think Rachel, the actresses are great. The black girl, I want to see, but I mean, it's her character. Like I know women, I know girls like that. So I can't really take that away from her. It's just that she's very in a world of characters that are so colorful. She's very blah for me. She's like, I don't know.
She reminds me of just like a stoner girl. Like, I mean, well, I remember when I was younger, I always assumed that testers just sat in, blew trees all day and played video games.
Yeah.
And I know that may not necessarily be true, but that's what I initially thought. So for me, she kind of fit the stereotype because I thought she was high like the first couple of episodes. But
I mean, I would have loved it if they said she was.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been cooler. If they would have,
It would have been cooler.
Yeah, I thought if she was getting high, I thought that would have been cooler.
Yeah.
It would have explained so much. But like the other girl who was just like, obsessing over her and completely in love with her, that got to get
Actually.
tiresome because I'm like, what do you want? Like as a character, like as something
Boy.
more for your
Boy.
life.
Boy.
It's just-
Man.
Boy.
I don't. He's moving forward, but these were my feelings
Yeah.
of season 1.
Yeah.
And season 1, it was just like there has to be more to you than even talk to me about testing. Like talk to me about testing the game, but it's literally just you oogling over this girl who you don't know how to tell that you like. Either
Yeah.
tell her you like her or move on.
Yeah, I think the game testers remind me of game testers, where they just there to, because you never play a real game when you're game testing. You play something, you play a monstrosity that's broken, and your job is to find all the bugs. You're not playing the game. Your job is to find all
Well,
the
they
bugs.
did. They played the games because they that one episode
Yeah.
they even went to the arcade when she was feeling depressed and things
But
like
yeah,
that.
but they
She
don't
talked
play the game you're working on. You're testing the game you're working on. There's a difference.
You're trying to like break the
Yeah,
game.
you're trying to break it.
Programmers.
So that's different. And for her to go in there, I thought it was interesting. They had two testers and they had them in like a nice little swanky room, because that's not video game.
Well, there were
production.
more testers. They just focused on those two because remember when Rachel gets fired, they bring another tester in.
Yes.
Yeah,
they
Lou
brought
who
him into the room.
actually ends up
I
being kind
liked
of
him.
funny. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did. I really liked Lou. I was like, I need
Yeah.
Lou to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But,
I was like, Lou is interesting.
but usually in video game testing, if you have publishers have testers too, but locally you'll have just as many testers as you have developers on a real project. I know for a project I worked on, we had like 100 testers. And the team was 180. There was 180 of us, but we had 100 testers easily.
So let's move on to we talked about it a little bit early was episode 9, the last episode of the series, and it deals with the pandemic. I just thought this
That's episode 10.
Is it episode 10? Okay, episode 10.
Episode 9 was Blood Ocean,
Okay.
which I thought was
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
Blood Ocean was
It's a lot of great ones,
wonderful.
but I thought episode 10 was one of the best episodes in all of television history. I just thought they so succinctly articulated what was going on during the pandemic and these different personalities and how they were coping with it. So, Cortney, what were your thoughts on episode 10?
I loved episode 10. Episode 10 hit me in a way that I literally sobbed at the end of it, because the thing for me, I feel like this series is the only show to get the pandemic right in terms of like what people were feeling, what they were going through, and just showing, like hearing someone say, I'm not okay. You know what I mean? Who lives alone and I'm not okay. That's something that a lot of people just glaze over or keep it within the realm of science or keep it within the realm of sickness, but not within the realm of like just the regular person who's trying to live their life. And everybody was just trying to cope. It was a coping episode, and it was everything that I needed to feel better about the shows that I were watching and that were talking about the pandemic. So this is the best one to do it.
I concur. Syntell, anything stick out to you specifically in episode 10?
I mean, everything you said, I would just be, emphasizing on the obvious of everything the court just said. It was just well done. It was a lot of fun, especially at the very end with the collaborating of moving everything in sequence in order to get the bag of chips. It was just fun. It was a piece of fun for something that was very depressing in nature. They took something and made it lighthearted. I was just grateful for it. The hug at the very end was spot on. I think that hit a lot of people because most people I think felt that way. It's like, man, I just need to connect with something.
Ian just being there.
Crazy.
Yeah, that scene between Ian and Poppy was just like, whoa, because he's walking and you're like, what is this egomaniac doing? Nah, he's literally threatening people walking through the streets. He's got his mask and Poppy's breaking down. He's like, go to the door. She's like, what? Go to the door. And he's there. And they don't say a lot. They hug a few words and they leave, and just like they gave each other everything that they needed at that moment.
Yeah.
Chuck, we can't hear you, Chuck, or I can't.
The actual season finale for the first season was Blood Ocean. That was the actual season finale.
Was it?
And then and then they came back with Quarantine. And they came
Quarantine
back with
and
Everlight.
Everlight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
So they actually added 2 episodes just because we were in quarantine. So Blood Ocean launched February 7th. Quarantine came out in May 22nd.
Really?
And then And then Everlight came on April 21st, April 16th in quarantine. They shot it in quarantine.
Okay, and I guess that makes sense because it was like, how did they know? Or,
Yeah,
like,
because
was it
I
during
remember
the pandemic?
originally watching the first season and stopped at Blood Ocean, and I was like, "That's a brilliant way to stop that season." Then I happened to go back in to watch season 2, and I was like, "Oh, where these 2 episodes come from?"
Ah.
So they attached them. That is the face of new television.
There was a great hat tip, and maybe you have picked up on it, maybe you haven't, but C.W. Longbottom's character, the actor himself, he's an older man, and they're respecting, the fact that he's at a higher risk.
Yep.
With the pandemic, but he's still a part of the crew, and they add that. Him being
but
a part of the
that's
crew.
season 2. Isn't it?
No, season
Not
one,
season one.
because he wasn't there. He wasn't there.
For Everlight.
He wasn't there for Everlight.
He wasn't there for Everlight. Yeah.
Got it.
And Everlight,
I was just
nice
like, that's
too.
brilliant. That's really good how they did that. Even with Everlight, because he's reading it from the script and still being his flamboyant storytelling.
I just love how he talks.
Everlight was so good. Like,
I thought it was so good too.
As a cosplayer, I'm someone who cosplays, so I guess my dream job would be able to work somewhere where I get to cosplay just on a random day. And the way that they did that cosplay and kind of bled it into the real world, it was so much fun.
It's their LARPing party. They have it every year. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that Danny Pudi hates it. He hates it. He's like, y'all have this every year.
And he was like, and if I win, then you had never have this ever again.
So good though.
It's so good.
Man.
It's so
he's
good.
He's like, I'm gonna give you a villain. I love that. I was like,
they
villain.
made him a villain that whole episode.
And it
the
was
whole
great.
episode.
Because he's like fresh back from the
too,
pandemic, and he's like, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna let anybody win. Everybody's gonna be in misery when I'm done with this. My job is to kill this thing. Is to kill it.
I think that's where Joe shines too, because she's absolutely crazy.
She does shine.
She is insane, and she is so determined to like win.
Yeah, but I think Quarantine is the perfect episode.
I think
actually captured this moment we live
perfect.
in.
Yeah,
it actually captured the moment we live in. I think that was excellent writing. I think
it's just a mic drop. It's just a mic drop, and like, whoa, like, it really captures what this show is all about.
And what's so crazy, Rob was the one who directed it. Rob directed.
Rob McElhenney.
McElhenney.
Yeah.
Yep. Megan Gans, she wrote it. Of course, Megan wrote it. Megan was right.
Megan, Rob, and David Hornsby. Yeah. Yep. Who plays David Brittlesby?
Yeah, David Brittlesby. Yep.
It was well done.
It's very smart.
Yep.
And
so we've talked about it ad nauseum. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna rate it again. So I'll start off. I'm keeping my same rating. You guys convinced me. I wish we had a higher rating, like to binge it out. I mean, like I said, this series is a game changer. I haven't seen the other one, Ted Lasso, which you guys talked about, but this is definitely a staple of this network, and it really actually made me renew my series subscription after my free one expired, because I don't want season 3 to come out and me not be able to watch it. So,
but fortunately, you got Ted Lasso too.
All right, I'm gonna check Ted Lasso.
And Ted Lasso's halfway through season 2.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. So again, for me, it's a full binge out. Chuck, you change your mind or
nah? Keep it the same.
How you rating Mythic Quest?
I give it a full binge out.
Okay. All right. Syntell, how you feel about it, man?
Yeah, nothing changes, man. I think what you said is really poignant regarding it being like the flagship show of this particular streaming service. I never thought about it in those terms, and I know me and Chuck will probably fight offline regarding if Ted Lasso should be crowned that or not. But as for right now, in the moment, in this space, yeah, it's Mythic Quest. It's Mythic Quest for now. It's a 5 out of 5. It's binge worthy.
Absolutely. Cortney, how you feeling about Mythic Quest?
Exactly the same. I was one of the lead people saying we need to do Mythic Quest. It's interesting though. Not a lot of people know about Mythic Quest. I've been talking to a lot of people just like, have you watched Mythic Quest? Have you seen, everybody, the marketing really from Apple TV for Mythic Quest has not been as forefront as like
Ted
For All
Lasso.
Mankind and C and Ted Lasso and The Morning Show. Like those shows got all the heat, and Mythic Quest is really kind of under the radar. So I'm waiting for it to get its due diligence, and I keep trying to tell people, y'all need to watch, like you're missing out. But that's also what happened with It's So Sunny. Most people didn't know about It's So Sunny until like season 2. And then it became a cult classic.
I didn't know about it till like season
Still
2,
cultish.
and I went to a friend's house, and he's like, "Yo, have you seen Always Sunny?" And
Yeah.
I was in the game developer conference. Actually, I was staying in this place, game developer conference, and I didn't want to go to the conference because I was so caught up in Always Sunny.
Yeah, most people didn't know about it. So
Mhm.
I feel like with and it's just getting better and better, as we, get into season 2. There's just a richer, even more so expounding on season 1 and the characters that we know. So I wholeheartedly support this, and I'm going to speak it into fruition that Randy is right and that people will recognize that this should be the flagship comedy. Ted Lasso is different than Mythic Quest. Mythic Quest
Yes,
is
it is.
honest
It is.
comedy. Ted Lasso is heartfelt, like how you would
Yeah.
like people to be in the world.
Yeah,
Yes, I agree with that.
Quest is how they really are.
yeah, it's nice. It's a feel good show.
I'm gonna have
It's
to-
definitely feel good.
It's a
I'm gonna
definitely
have to
feel
check
good
that
show.
out. I'm gonna have to
You
check that
know,
out.
and honestly, I don't know what we'll cover next week. I think the second season has one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna hold you to that.
For
Mythic Quest,
Mythic
right?
Quest. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Has
gonna hold
one
you
of
to
the
that.
best has one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen.
Give me a number, but don't not number rating, but a
No,
number of
no,
the episode.
No, we'll wait till next week.
But I've already
We'll wait till next
jumped
week.
ahead
That's fine.
because I said full binge out. When I said full binge out, I meant
We'll wait next
full.
week. Yeah. We'll wait till next week. We'll wait till next
Alright.
week.
All
All right, so there you have it, people. Full binge out. Please go out there and watch Mythic Quest on Apple TV. It is definitely worth your time. So, Syntell, man, you got anything to say before we head out?
Yeah, man. Apple, I've been one of the main people to absolutely trash your streaming service, and because it was trash, it was.
It was.
But you guys are turning around. Like them and Peacock, the both of them, they just keep throwing punches. Like they're like, I'm not out of this fight. I'm gonna keep throwing punches. I'm still clowning Peacock. I still got a little bit of jokes for Apple, but
Yeah.
if you spend your money, you're not going to be disappointed. You at least bare minimum have at least 2 to 3 shows on Apple that's going to steer you in the right direction. And Mythic Quest is probably the flagship of that.
I think there are at least. I don't know how you felt or didn't feel about the morning show, but I thought it was smartly written. I've never watched C, but the morning show is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Schmigadoon is stupid fun. It is really good. I don't know
Is
if y'all
it?
would
I
like
haven't-
it. It is so good. Like Keenan Michael Kelly. That's his name.
Yeah, I heard
Yes.
Schmigadoon is really
Keegan,
good.
You
too.
have to have like a backstory
Keegan Michael
with
Kelly.
musical
Yeah,
to really love it.
I heard Schmigadoon is really good too.
Schmigadoon is so good. And Ted Lasso. But
They
Peacock, the only thing I saw was Girls 5 Ever, which I binged that in like I stayed up all night. I
I
freaking
have
love
no
Girls
desire.
5 Ever.
There's nothing on there that I want to see.
It's just
Girls
that I'm
5
willing to
Ever
pay
is
for.
worth
throwing
it.
jabs.
Yeah, that I'm willing to pay for. I'm like,
I like the
nah,
morning show too. I did like the morning show.
I like the morning show.
I don't know. Whatchamacallit was annoying to me.
I heard Mr. Corman's good too.
All right, Courtney, ma'am, you got anything to say before we head out?
Oh no, that was it. That was
All right.
my 10 cents on the whole, my Lucy Van Pelt, my 5 cents. Yeah. Get in. I agree with Syntell. Watch these shows. Support
Yeah.
Apple TV. They have some good ones.
What about you, boss man? You got anything to say before we head out?
Well, it's good night.
All right. Well, that concludes our show for the day. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, if you love our graphics, if you love this fascinating design we have. Shouts out to Digital Click for all the creative that you provide. And please follow us on Twitch. And if you love what we're doing, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link your account and subscribe to us using your Prime Gaming. Now, this won't cost you anything, but it will mean the world to us. So you guys have heard it. Next week, we are doing Mythic Quest Season 2. We'll be back here, same bat time, same bat channel. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Bye. Peace, love, and Afro grease.